This is the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 Pro. What do you get for less than $50,000? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Did you know that you can actually buy a full-size truck, a brand new full-size truck in this day and age for under $50,000? Well, I'm going to show you what you get for that sticker price, and I'll give you the exact price later in the video. Now, there's a lot of things that are not going to be here, but at the same time, there are a lot of things that are here that might be a little bit of a surprise to some people. So let's take a look at what we have. Now, obviously on this trim level, you're not going to have your forward-facing camera. You will have a backup camera, but that's it. Not a big deal. A lot of us spent many years without any cameras at all, and we survived. You will have your front recovery hooks right here, or tow hooks as they're often called. This truck is two-wheel drive as opposed to four-wheel drive. You will have your active air curtains here on the front end, allowing air to flow through here and get the best gas mileage possible, at least helping out with that area. That air comes out right here. How about our tire and wheel size? 275 on our width, a 60 series sidewall wrapped around the gloss black 20-inch wheels. And at this price point, you might not expect to have remote start, yet there it is. You do have the power down tailgate. You will have to raise that back up. Lock and unlock and the panic button. Those are the features you will find with your remote. Power adjustable side view mirrors. They are manually folding. They don't have turn signal indicators built in or blind spot monitoring. But again, a lot of us survived for years without that. You do have the smaller mirror right here on the driver's side to help out with the blind spot. You won't have passive entry, not a big deal. I don't think most people are too worried about that as far as that goes. And as we work our way to the rear, you have your corner steps here on the bumper to make it easier to get in and out of the bed. And your GMC and Sierra logos back here. Pretty basic, but still a very functional truck. Let's talk about what's under the hood. Under the hood is the 2.7 liter Turbo Max, 310 horsepower, 430 pounds-feet of torque. And as opposed to every other truck in the lineup, this does not have a 10-speed automatic transmission. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission. And let's go take a look at the window sticker, because I know a lot of you are going to wish I had done it or ask for me to do it. If I don't, give you the MPGs. We're looking at 18 city, 22 highway, 20 combined, and 5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. You will find capless fuel fill, and when you fill up, you have a 24-gallon gas tank. And for those who are curious to know what this 2.7 liter sounds like, here is an exhaust clip. If you're interested in towing with this exact setup, you're looking at a max towing capacity of 8,900 pounds, and your payload comes in at 2,040 pounds. You do see that as I mentioned earlier, you do have a power tailgate. It's power down, not power up, but it is dampened, so very easy to deal with. No bed liner in this particular case, although that could easily be added. You do still have multiple tie downs in the bed, a total of 12, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on both sides. A 120 volt power outlet found right here. We also have our in-bed LED lighting that will help light things after dark. That makes things very easy to deal with. One thing you won't find here, I told you I'd tell you about what you find and what you don't find on this model, is you won't find a power sliding rear window. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. How important is that in your decision making as far as what trim level you might buy? And let's talk about what your rear seat passengers are going to find. The armrest, it seems to be acceptable. Maybe not as comfortable as some higher trim levels, but I think it's going to do the job just fine. We do have a bottle holder right here, and it's a good thing we do. There's plenty of space within the door bin right here. Why do I say it's a good thing we have that bottle holder right there? Because that's the only option on each side of the truck here on both doors as far as cup holders go. You don't have a fold down armrest here, and you don't have cup holders built into the rear of the center console right there, or what actually doubles as a seat. I'll show you a little bit more about that if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about. There is the ability to raise these seat cushions up. Now, you don't have any actual built-in areas here to store things underneath, but you could still put things underneath there if you so desire to. Just make sure that they stay in place. We do have the rear seat pockets right here. I am happy to have grab handles at the back doors right here because this particular model doesn't have any kind of a step to assist with getting in and out of the cab, but not necessarily a big deal. Rear air conditioning vents are found back here for your rear seat passengers, as well as USB options. This truck does not come with a sunroof, at least this model didn't, and you'll find some lighting here for the rear seat area. That flickering effect has to do with my camera. It's not actually happening in person. And I hope that you can see clearly on your screen that right there on the sticker, it does say 2024, because I'm about to show you some things that might make you question that as we work our way into the interior, which, by the way, here are some of your safety features. If you're wanting to know what those are: automatic emergency braking, forward collision alert, you're gonna have front pedestrian braking, lane keeping assist, and you'll have IntelliBeam headlights, among many other safety features. Let's see what we have on the driver's side door. All the typical things you would expect, at least to a point. We have all of our power window controls here, power locks, and you can control your power side view mirrors right there. You control the functionality with your headlights and taillights and all that good stuff right here, as well as your cab light right there. You'll also find your button right there for your high beam assist, auto high beams. Now, what is the sticker price for this truck? Well, you'll notice that we have the older interior, like I said earlier. That's why I wanted you to see on the sticker that this is indeed a 2024. If you're not sure, go to the GMC configurator and spec one of these trucks out, and you'll see what's available and what's not. So for those of you who maybe don't want the latest and greatest from GMC, such as the 13.4-inch touchscreen that would be here, the redesigned dash, all that stuff, well, here's a good option for you. Pretty basic. So what are you going to pay for this truck if you came in and bought it at Mike Morgan Buick GMC? The sticker price is $48,270, which is not too bad in this day and age. And you do have a cup holder and some storage options right here. You also have a little bit of space within this area. I guess we could call that the center console. And if you need room for a third passenger, here in the front seat area for a total of 6 potential passengers, you can use that release that I just used right there. That's what you do to put this into its upright position, and it basically becomes a bench seat. Now, a little trick here, if you're having trouble getting this back down and you're pulling on it and saying, well, nothing's happening, just pull a little harder. I've noticed it kind of tends to hang up just a little bit, and so you don't have to put everything you have into it, but just pull a little bit harder and it won't be a problem. We're going to find some one-touch buttons right here that you can take advantage of if you want to. USB options right here, a couple of those, a 12-volt power outlet, and the second of 2 120-volt outlets. Here is your infotainment screen. Pretty easy to deal with, pretty easy to figure out. Got a couple of different screens here that you can use and deal with. You can go into your settings and go into vehicle, apps, system. It's easy to deal with. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are here. Now, you will need to tether your phone to pair it, but after you do that, no big deal. It's wireless once you do that. I'm keeping that here for now since I'm using this truck as a loaner for the moment to keep my phone charged. So no big deal where that's concerned. And you'll still have your upper and your lower glove boxes right here. Quite a bit of space and different options for storage throughout the interior. And something else you might have noticed the absence of that a lot of the newer 1500s have is going to be the shifter down here on the console. You'll have your good old-fashioned, what a lot of people seem to want, column shifter. So if you're interested in that, well, it is still available. Okay, here we go on our test drive. I'm going to just let you listen for a few seconds. Yes, it does sound like a 4-cylinder because that's what it is. But I've had people in the past who wanted to hear a little bit more of the exhaust clip beyond what I shared earlier in the video as far as actually accelerating down the road, and there you go. That's the situation. These trucks are capable of towing and hauling, just as you would expect. Some people might be okay with the 4-cylinder. I know personally I could not own a truck with a 4-cylinder engine under the hood. I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. But to each their own. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just really a matter of personal preference. The good news is that you have options. You can go with a lot of different trim levels, a lot of different engine options, and do whatever it is you need to do, depending on your needs or your just personal desires, whatever you're wanting to do with your truck. It's nice to know that it's there. This truck is easy to get around. It does have good acceleration for what it is. You might wonder about the 4-cylinder engine under the hood, and is it enough? I've definitely had no trouble accelerating up to speed, just easing into the gas. Coming from where I did to merge onto this particular road, no problem at all. Now, one thing about trucks over the years, especially full-size trucks, is you will notice that the ride is, well, a little bit more rough than it once was, and that's simply because these trucks are lighter than they used to be. That makes a difference. So just something to consider. I don't think most truck owners are too worried about such a thing, especially with a full-size truck. If you're going mid-size truck and you want one that rides really well, the Ridgeline is your best option where that's concerned. The one truck that many people will say, oh, that's not really a truck. I guess it just depends on what you're after, but a fairly minimal interior here as far as the technology goes and all that good stuff. But you still have a nice amount of technology. You have the backup camera, you have things like that. All of those features are here as far as that goes. Pretty easy to deal with, easy to learn. That's one thing for sure that I will definitely say about these GMC trucks is no matter which model you go with, the technology is easy. You might say, you know what, I'd like to go ahead and step up to that 13.4-inch touchscreen and the redesigned interior. What's the difference? Well, to me, it's a little bit easier, believe it or not. Not that either one is difficult, but it's just you have Google Assistant and wireless capabilities for pairing your cell phone. There's a lot of changes and upgrades there. But for those of you who are saying, Tom, I really don't want to spend a lot of money, I need a new truck. What are my options? Well, here's one that you should definitely consider. And those are the high points of what you get when you pay less than $50,000 for a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Tell me what you think. Is this truck acceptable? Are you happy to know that something like this is available? Maybe it's something you're researching. Maybe you didn't know you could still buy a full-size truck in this price range. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.